Tried something a bit different today. Going to have a go with the paddock stand. Just picked up a paddock stand for the bike, so let's see how that goes. Okay, so I need to do some maintenance on the chain, and there's no centre stand on this bike, mainly because of the weirdo monstrosity that is the exhaust that sits underneath there. So yeah, it's the first naked bike I've had with no centre stand. So I picked up a paddock stand off Facebook Marketplace last night for 15 quid. Never used one before, but it seemed to work okay. Most bikes, or from what I've read, a lot of bikes that need paddock stands to raise the back wheel have a thread somewhere here in the swing arm so that you can wind in a bobbin, and then the paddock stand has a fork that sits up into the bobbin and makes it a lot more stable when you're getting the bike back onto the paddock stand and off of it. This one doesn't have that, so I've gone for one with these cups. You can't really see it. I should have shown it to you before I put it on the bike. But it's just a U-shaped bracket that sits under the swing arm. I expected it to sit somewhere here, but because of the tight, there's not much room there with the rear sprocket and the brake disc on the other side. So I've had to sit it quite a long way along the swing arm. I don't know if that's normal. If any of you guys have used one of these, could you just drop me a comment and let me know if that's all right? I mean, the bike is stable, so I've got no issues, and the back wheel turns fine, so it's going to work for its purpose. But it just seemed further forward than I thought it might be. But I've never used one or seen one used, so I didn't really know what to expect. So yeah, it's up on the stand. And it's good to go. I was expecting to have to make up some rubber cushioning for these cups because they're really wide. But I realise now that actually the width is quite nice, because when you're using it on the bend of the swing arm here, you need that bit of movement. So that works quite well. Oh yeah, and the other thing I did, I put a block of wood under the side stand, which was about the right height to make the bike sit level before I raised it, which seemed like a plan. And I got the missus to come and just stand next to the bike in case it tipped while I was raising it, because anybody that knows me knows that my back is pretty shot. So I might struggle on my own if it decided to tip while I was doing it. But yeah, all good. So bike's doing good. I've had some issues with my paintwork because it's been so wet this summer. The paintwork hasn't really had time to cure properly under the cover. So although I've got a decent Oxford cover, when we've had days and days and days of heavy rain, the cover sort of gets damp and it's sat against the paintwork, and as you'd expect, it gets underneath the acrylic and raises it up. So I'll have to do a bit more work on that. I lost this side completely. Poor old skeleton guy's gone. You can just see the traces of him, but actually I quite like that rattler. This one ended up alright. Bit of discoloration there, but that's mainly from riding rather than anything else. And this one stayed on fine. A lot of people say seal it with a lacquer or varnish it when you've done it, and I get the logic of that, but on my previous bikes I've never had to do that. I've done acrylic artwork and it's stayed on fine, so we'll see how it goes. I mean, this has been through all sorts of weather and it's absolutely fine, so I can always just do that later on if I need to. So yeah, I'm just going to do a bit of chain maintenance. I just wanted to show you the paddock stand really, so catch you soon. Well, that was pretty good, went off without a hitch. So I put the block of wood under the side stand before I raised it, which was probably a nice precaution because the bike was quite sort of vertical before it went up in the air. And then when I dropped it back off the paddock stand, I put it in gear, so the back wheel wasn't going to go anywhere if it was to slip. And like I said before, the missus was stood there by the side of the bike on the opposite side to the side stand, just in case it went. But yeah, no problems at all, and that's a really good bit of kit. I just can't believe how much I previously took a centre stand for granted, but luckily there are ways around these things. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.
Sorry.